Okay, you've been in government for a bit, you've been in the petroleum sector for a bit as well, and you understand the workings of both government and the petroleum sector. What would you say is stopping us from being able to have fully functional, fully effective refineries in Nigeria?
A combination of factors. Maintenance, we don't have a culture of maintenance. We're good at building, world-class structures and world-class facilities, but we're not very good at maintaining them. The refineries we have are all quite old, and we just haven't maintained them. It's as simple as that. And because we haven't maintained them and kept that up, production has come down. It's intermittent at the best, and that's the result. It's as simple as that. There's an old refinery in Ghana that's still working, and has been working, for the last 40 years, even before Ghana found oil. So it's not. Refining technology isn't very complicated. But it does require to have a consistent program for maintenance. Again, goes back to what you talked about contracting. Who's been doing the maintenance? Has the process to select the contractor to do the maintenance been a transparent one? So you get the best, you get competitive quotes. The best way of getting competitive quotes is by opening the process up to competition. So you have global, it's a global industry, I keep maintaining that. So you have global people competing to provide this service. And if it doesn't work with one, there are consequences. If I contract you to fix my refinery and you didn't fix it properly, I mean, I have recourse against you. So I think that's part of it.
So we're back to the same issue of impunity that people have been referring to across the different sectors, because we've never heard that any contractor has been in serious trouble with our government for the failure of our refineries.
It's back to transparency. I mean, I think there's also vested interests.
You don't want to use the word impunity then?
I abhor impunity. I mean, I think that's one of the reasons why we have a democracy. That's why we try and advocate the rule of law. Because it's only under a government of laws that we can all thrive. I think that there are vested interests in that, and this is probably an important thing to say with regard to the refineries. Where a refinery is not working because the catalytic processor isn't functioning, there are products that are very valuable in other economies, valuable to other economies, that our people can export. So that's not in the interest of the country, but it's in the interest of private interests. So I think that too is a factor that government must look at and closely monitor to see, why this happens.
Okay, just as we wind down, there was this question that I'm sure during the week in Lagos here, you saw queues at the petrol stations, and one man was asking, the global oil prices are dipping. Now we're having these queues here. Shouldn't the prices of petrol in Nigeria come down?
Yeah, it should, because the cost of the barrel of crude is directly related to the cost of a litre of petrol, but it doesn't happen immediately. There are forward contracts. I mean, we've already contracted to buy so much petrol at a certain price over a period. So if the price of oil on the world market suddenly tumbles, that contract is still valid. Sanctity of contract, I talked about that before. So it will take a while, but yes, it will.
So what happens when the price shoots up at the global market? Yes. You see that in Nigeria it's quick to, maybe we're buying for 97 and then at the global market it went up, then at the filling stations quickly you see the signs change, prices going up.
Yeah, that's a regulation problem. That's a regulation issue. It should work both ways. I remember in July 2008, the oil price of oil went to $147, the highest it's ever been. By October, it was down to $32. Now at $32, the price of petrol should have crashed. That's a regulation problem. I mean, that the government needs to be, the DPR, whose responsibility it is to monitor these things, needs to be able to enforce that and say, but we're in a free market.
Okay.
In a free market, you try and make as much profit as you can. That's normal. So It's only the regulator that can intervene.
Okay, well, we've been told we have to wrap up now, but just before you go, your ambition as a politician, your adventure into politics from being on the other side where you have elected, where you're not elected, to where you're a public appointee.
Yes.
What has it been like for you?
It's been interesting. I mean, I'm making the transition from what they used to call a technocrat to a politician.
Yes.
It's been an interesting transition, and I'm running for governor of Rivers State. Even in that, I'm in a transition because there has been primaries have been conducted. There is a flag bearer of my party, the PDP. But I was in court before those primaries were conducted, and I was challenging the process of the conduct of those primaries, and the matter's in court, so we hope for the best and see how that goes.
What's your expectation from the court? What would you hope for?
I would hope that the court would void the exercise on the basis that it wasn't transparent, since we're talking about transparency, and that we would do it again and let the best man win.
But then that's going to impact on the timetable of INEC. If that happens, then...
It's still not too late, given the timetable of INEC. There's still enough time for this to be resolved and for the process to take place properly, and for the PDP to present
Is the PDP receptive to your perception and your demand?
Well, I put it this way. I'm in court seeking an interpretation of the constitution of the PDP. My understanding perhaps differs from the understanding of others within the party.
Okay.
And when that happens, under our system, it's the courts that resolve that. So I've taken it to the court to help resolve
and
it.
let me just quickly ask, the transition from a technocrat to being a politician, how smooth would you say it is?
Well, I tell people that I thought I had left school, I finished school, but I think I'm back in kindergarten.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Senior Advocate of Nigeria, former Minister of Foreign Affairs, and also the Chairman of Nigerian Natural Resource Charter. Thank you very much for being on the show today.
It's a very important discussion.
And we wish you the very best with your adventure into politics.
So thank you. Thank you.
So Sunrise will take a short break. When we come back, a very interesting conversation about the image of Nigeria and whether it's perception or reality. All of that will come when we come back. Join us again.